Reddit is a place where people come to discuss anything and everything, and that sometimes includes confessing murders and solving decade-old cold cases. In this video, we'll be looking at the top 3 disturbing Reddit stories that are bound to blow you away. So turn off your lights and jump right in. Jason in Hell. In 2016, a Reddit user by the name of Jason in Hell would make his now infamous post on the popular sub Relationship Advice. Jason Worley goes on to tell us that he has discovered that his wife Brandy Worley is cheating on him with the neighbor. After a tense confrontation with both his wife and the neighbor, he ultimately decides to stay with his wife for the sake of the kids. His post gained a lot of attention, drawing from Reddit users from all over the world, giving their opinion on what Jason should do. Most were baffled that he decided to stay with his wife. She also made him apologize to the neighbor, which further enraged Reddit. Most of the community urged him to seek advice from a divorce lawyer, and eventually Jason did exactly that. A couple of weeks later, he filed for divorce. In the early hours of the next morning, Brandy allegedly killed her children, Tyler and Charlie, and injured herself. She then called 911 at 4:35 a.m. and confessed to the crime. Tyler and Charlie were already dead when deputies arrived at the house on South Madison Street, while Brandy had suffered injuries to her neck. The mom of 2, who was apparently found sitting on her sofa by officers, was treated at the Indianapolis hospital for her wounds. It is understood that her 2 children were stabbed in the neck. Following the alleged double killing, Brandy told officers that her husband had filed for divorce and she did not want him to take the kids, court documents state. She confessed to killing the children and allegedly said, "I just want to die with them," according to the documents. Jason, who has been married to his wife since August 2009, took to Reddit from a now-deleted account to thank other users for their advice and support. A post by the user purporting to be him read, "I would like to give a heartfelt and sincere thank you for the advice and support I have received here. No one could have foreseen the tragedy that resulted from me filing for divorce." A GoFundMe page has been set up to support Jason and cover his children's funeral expenses. The goal was first $20,000, but it has raised more than $56,000. Brandy was sentenced to 120 years and remains in prison today. Red is Blue 101. This disturbing confession of a murder will blow your mind. In 2017, 22-year-old Melinda Valliere was found dead in an apartment she shared with a friend in Kitchener, Ontario at around 3 a.m. on April 28, after police responded to an emergency call. She died from multiple stab wounds inflicted in a targeted attack, police said. The suspected killer, Agar Hassan, fled to the United States right after the killing. On May 2nd, a now suspended user, Red is Blue 101, posted on Canada News. According to a Reddit post titled, "Wanted for Kitchener Murder, My Side," the couple had recently broken up and started patching things up again. When Hassan admitted to seeing other people while they were on a break, the 2 began fighting, according to the Reddit post. She started freaking out, wouldn't say a word, and just kept slapping me with tears in her eyes. Slaps turned into hits. I told her I was sorry, but if she didn't stop, I'd do something back. She didn't stop. I then stupidly pushed her harder than I expected. She fell against the sink. The Reddit post further states, "Almost out of nowhere, she grabs a knife by the sink. Initially, I thought she was just going to hold it to try and tell me to leave. She doesn't. She comes to me in full force, aiming towards my face. I tell her to stop. She doesn't. I tried grabbing the knife but ended up cutting my hands. After a few cuts, I lost it. I freaked out. I was scared and in a state of shock. Never in 100 years did I think she would use a knife against me. Out of shock and fear, I grabbed one. I hit her with it almost blindly. A few times, I didn't know what happened. I was confused, shocked, and scared." The Reddit user also maintained the 2 were best friends, apologizing to Vasilie's family and wrote, "Rest in peace, my beautiful. I hope you forgive me in the afterlife." The person alleging to be Hassan also disputed the idea that he was running away, writing he needed some time to process what happened before turning himself in. According to police, Hassan fled to the US shortly after the murder, where he was last seen on April 28, 2017 at around 10 a.m. allegedly stealing a license plate from a vehicle in a Walmart parking lot in Erie County, Pennsylvania, and putting it on the black 2016 Honda HR-V he was driving with Ontario plate BPKT 509. After a sighting of Hassan was reported in Tennessee, cops had said that the murder suspect might be headed to Mexico. The statement led to Hassan taking to his Instagram in June to deny this claim, as well as to post a selfie video with no sound. He also posted a photo of him and Vasilier captioned, "I regret everything negative I ever did to you." It was deleted soon after. Hassan was eventually arrested in San Antonio on July 11, 2017. He was charged with second-degree murder in Melinda Vasilier's death. Hassan's trial was first scheduled for late 2019 and was adjourned to May 2020. It was further delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The trial was expected to begin in April last month, but it's been delayed until January 2023. Grateful Doe. While other cases had some disturbing relevance to Reddit, this next case was actually solved with the help of the Reddit community. About 20 years ago, Jason Callahan went missing. He moved out of where he was living, mystifying his roommates. It seemed like he just up and disappeared, and they never heard anything else about him. The only thing he left behind was phone charges for some 1-900 numbers that were hotlines for rock band Grateful Dead fans. Across the world, in Queensland, Australia, Redditor Layla Betts started getting into unsolved mysteries. Like, really into them. She stumbled across a Virginia case from 1995 where 2 men were killed in a car crash. One man was identified, but the other wasn't. He was wearing a Grateful Dead t-shirt and had Grateful Dead ticket stubs in his pocket. He became known as the Grateful Doe. Layla posted the story on Reddit. Layla helped create the subreddit Grateful Doe, which was devoted to solving the case. Thousands of people joined in, and Layla said she would sometimes spend 12 hours a day moderating the community, replying to comments, contacting law enforcement, and posting updates. One of those updates was a set of composite sketches of the Grateful Doe. That post resulted in a message in Layla's Reddit inbox from a guy named Steve. Steve said he recognized the guy from the composite sketches. He thought it looked like one of his old roommates from Illinois, a guy named Jason Callahan. The next step? Find Jason Callahan's family to confirm. Eventually, those sketches reached Shannon Callahan, Jason's half-sister. I honestly started shaking. When I looked at that picture, it looked like my dad was looking back at me. He had the same face, and he even had a lot of my facial features, my forehead and the shape of my face. I knew at that moment deep down that it was Jason. Shannon offered to take a DNA test, then she, Layla, and thousands of other online sleuths who were deeply invested in the Grateful Doe case waited a year for the results. Once they came in, it was insane, Shannon says. The Grateful Doe was Jason Callahan. Case closed. It was a very sobering moment for Layla and the Grateful Doe community, Layla said. At that moment, it wasn't that this case had been solved after 20 years. It was that Jason Callahan was finally going to go home. His family had a resolution. The Grateful Doe subreddit still exists. Now that its namesake case has been solved, the community features other missing persons cases, several of which have also been solved. Have you ever come across any creepy Reddit stories? Let us know in the comments, and we might feature it on the channel. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, and check out our other videos for your regular dose of whodunits. And we'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay warm, and don't get any crazy ideas.